Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out on this hot, steamy summer afternoon. Appreciate it. We're here today to dedicate Rock County's newest facility, the Dr. Daniel Hale Williams Rock County Resource Center. Okay, that's a lot, but that's what it is. Today's event will be in two parts. The first part is the ribbon cutting ceremony, which is happening now. And the second part will be heading inside into the conference room, into the air-conditioned area where there are actually seats as well. When we're inside, we'll hear a few remarks from certain people. That'll be followed by light refreshments and then tours of the facility for those that choose to do so. Okay, before I turn it over to Brent Sutherland, I need to mention one thing, and this is quite important. Where are the bathrooms in this place? I didn't know. Yes, thank you, Wes. I was just told, though, that if you go in the front doors and go hard left or hard right, keep going, and you'll be in good shape. Okay? I'd like to start out by turning things over to Brent Sutherland. Brent is the Director of Facilities Management for the county. And he'll make a few remarks and then pass it along to the next person. So, Brent.
Thanks, Rich. First, I just want to mention the General Services Committee. So they're the governing committee of my department. So everything that we do with facilities is oversaw by the General Services Committee. So when we started with our master plan back in 2018, all that was approved by the General Services Committee, reviewed, and then followed up by where the staff and the progress is. So every bit of this progress, they approve all the change orders, they approve all the budget, a part of that. So the general services is really the key factor for me in facilities of getting any of this stuff accomplished. So, and we had our chair was scheduled to be here this morning, but work conflict got him so he couldn't speak. So I wanted to just mention that on general services behalf. And then from a facilities standpoint, I guess I just want to make a quick couple comments of where we started with this building and where we ended up and why we did that. And I tend to talk too much, so I'm going to try to cut it really short. So if there's something more you want to know about it, there's a lot more we could share with you. But we started off in our master plan in 2018. This is the first project. We actually did an assessment of all of our buildings, and we knew we had about $38 million worth of old equipment that's outdated, needed to be replaced. So it was time to really look at our facilities and start thinking about upgrading rather than throwing money at bad. Because we also did a space needs a study that indicated that all of our space was really inefficient. In other words, we're operating many of the human services programs out of a former psychiatric hospital. So when you look at a square foot for efficiencies, 300 to 350 square feet per office person is typical or standard. We're operating that building at 900. So we're way over. So there's, in the end, when we're all done, we improve the efficiency of staff, we improve the efficiencies for the public and the clients, as well as reduce our cost in doing so. But what we did here is we learned that we needed a new human services building because the programs kept expanding, and they're operating out of multiple buildings. We got Franklin Street, Court Street, Healthcare Center, Job Center. I mean, they're all over the place. So we decided that, try to consolidate all together. And then we surveyed the staff or the clients to find out the best location, because we didn't want to build this building in a position that we can't get the clients there. So that's when we learned that it's in this neighborhood is where the best clients served for our area within Rock County. So then we chose this site. We found out this. We managed to purchase this. We started our design in 2019. We spent a year in design, and that design was not facilities designing a building for the human services department. It was the human service department to say, here's what we need for efficiencies, with the guidance of the architects and engineers to help us get there. So it was a year of design, got it bid out, a year of construction, and this is what brings us here today. So if you have any questions, feel free. We did bring transit. Now we worked with the City of Janesville Transit as well as Beloit Transit to make sure that right on the side of the building we have a transfer point for the buses that will get the clients right to the front door on their side door there and for the job center partners, and then they'll be able to use our services right away. And now they're all consolidated within one location. So you'll see in here, there's about 490 employees that will be operating out of this building. All right, thank you.
John, you want to go next? John Sabinash. I'm with Venture Architects. I have some thanks to give or to apply today. I want to be thankful for the opportunity to work on this beautiful building and the trust that the citizens of Rock County gave us to fulfill this mission. We have 43 people in our office who worked on this project. I'm empowered today to stand here for all of them, but that expertise and that ability to apply their knowledge and their blood, sweat, and tears to this project often goes unrecognized. But 43 people worked on this project within our office alone. At the very beginning of the project, Kate said we have to have a mission statement and a vision statement. The vision statement was a welcoming system of care and services that inspire healing, growth, and hope. And for me, hope, as someone who looks for inspiration to realize a substantial project like this, hope always means light at the end of the tunnel for me. So when you walk in this building, please be aware of the nature of the light. We know people work better in a light-filled environment. We know people heal better in light-filled environments. As we thought about this design solution with all the people who applied their knowledge within the Rock County government framework, all the people at Human Services, Finance, as well as the facilities group, we always kept our eyes on the prize that we wanted to create a great place for people to do their very best to afford the people of Rock County the best services we could apply. So light is a major theme. The other thing I want to conclude with is I'm going to paraphrase or take something out of a movie, which I rarely do, but at the conclusion of Shawshank Redemption, Red is reading, and that's Morgan Freeman is reading a note that had been given to him by Tim Robbins, who played the character Andy Dufresne, and he said, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things. Our hope is that this building affords the people of Rock County the opportunity to grow, heal, and get the best care that they can find and the best access to professional services that's imaginable. If we will have done that, then we will have been a success. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ben Bobzine. I'm the construction manager for JP Cullen and was in charge of the construction for this project. Just like to thank the county for the opportunity to work for you and to build this beautiful building. If any of you are from the Janesville, remember this old building. It was in need of either raising or a good renovation, which is what we did. You know, the county made a great decision in buying this building, renovating it versus building new. You know, saved millions of dollars, and through the work of Venture and the county and Cullen, once we were awarded the job, we worked together and saved over $500,000 just by coming up with different ways of building the building and still coming up with the same quality, but just doing it in a different manner. So we were pretty proud that we're able to work as a team. Venture and Cullen are going to be also working as a team on the Rock County Jail and Law Enforcement Services campus, so we're excited to be working together and continuing that relationship. We're also thankful at Cullen that through this winter we were pretty slow as a company, and the construction industry was pretty slow. So for about 3 months of the winter we had more employees working at this job than any other Cullen project, and we were employing about 130 people for about 3 months through the bitter winter, with the workers being thankful to be working inside instead out forming foundations or setting steel out in the snow. So I'm around all day if you have questions or want to, you know, geek out on some construction terms. I'm willing to share. But thank you all. Enjoy your day and the rest of the ceremony.
Thanks, Ben. Before we actually cut the ribbon, I'd just like to remind you again that once we get done with this portion of it, we'll all be going indoors. There will be some presentations, some light refreshments, and building tours. So we're going to get on with the actual ribbon cutting now. I will tell you one thing. This is the first ribbon I've ever cut. No guarantees. I hope you're on my side. Okay.
Okay, do you want to hand off the microphone to somebody?
Yeah.
Behind the ribbon so we can get a photo?
Gonna have squish in the middle, and I'm gonna have you Let me get this all situated. And yeah, if you wouldn't mind stepping in just a little. There you go. Alright, I'm gonna take a couple pictures and then I'm gonna tell you when to cut, okay? So just take a couple pictures. Look at me. Alright, on the count of 3, cut. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you do that. Well, it worked. How about that? So thank you for your support. If you want to start making your way indoors, that would be great. We'll see you inside in a couple of minutes. Glad to see that so many of you decided to come in for the second part of the program. As I glance around and look at this building, it's so strange to me that this building is the place that I'd regularly come to buy jalapeno peppers and habanero peppers, because Pick and Save had a good produce department. As I recall, it was somewhere way back there, no more. There's no trace of that any longer, but what we have instead is a beautiful new facility, one that is, thankfully, a repurposed one. What a great transition this is. But beyond the practicality of repurposing and the gleam of a new space is the true benefit of what we've accomplished. Pardon? Is that better? Okay. Did you get any of the beginning? Let me backtrack. Okay, let's start over again. I'm Rich Bostwick. I'm the Rock County Board of Supervisors Chair, and I'm glad to see so many of you sticking around for the second part of the program. As I said, it's really weird to me to look around the building and realize that this is where I once came to buy groceries. So anyway, there's no trace of the grocery store left anymore. You'd never know it was one. But what we have instead is a beautiful new facility, one that is, thankfully, one that is repurposed, which is kind of important to me, and what a great transition this is. But beyond the practicality of repurposing buildings and the gleam of a new space is the true benefit of what we've accomplished. Right now, we have a location in the heart of the county that will best serve the residents who seek our help. It affords a place that can be looked at as a one-stop shop for multiple services. So people that need to come up here for different things can get everything taken care of in one trip, hopefully. That's the goal. That makes for an easy and efficient experience, and that's really what this is all about, better serving our county residents. So I think it's a job well done. There are a lot of people who need to be thanked for this. I won't get into that. That'll come a little bit later. But I think we've done a good job here. That being said, I'd like to turn things over to County Clerk Lisa Tollefson. She'll be introducing some of the dignitaries that we have here today. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon, and I feel honored to be here today. Being the clerk for the county board, I get to see this idea turn into this event that we're here today, and all the different processes that go through to make something happen. And there's many dignitaries here today that we'd like to recognize. And the first one, we're going to start with our state dignitaries. I'd like to introduce and have you rise. Wave a little bit so everyone can see you. The first is our Senator Janice Ringhand. She's our state senator for District 15. Next we have Representative Sue Connolly. She represents the 45th State Assembly District, which is the city of Janesville. I did not see Mark Spreitzer come in. He was trying to get here, but I don't see him here at the moment. He may have snuck in, so that's why I'm saying that. The next department I'd like to recognize from the state is the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. And the first person is Danielle Williams. Danielle is the Assistant Deputy Secretary. I didn't see them come in, but they may be here, so I'm going to announce them. Delora Newton is the Wisconsin Workforce Development Division Administrator, and Dave Shaw, the Regional Director. We also have a representative, I believe, from the School District of Janesville, Steve Poffel. All right. There were many people to check off this list when I was looking at them coming in the building, and masks have definitely distracted us from how we used to look before. So for Mercy Health, I have a number of people, if they could stand up and be recognized when I state their name. Dr. Fafa is a cardiologist for Mercy Health. Tamara Wolitz is a cardiology clinic director. Kelly Potter, clinic manager. Dr. Jared Shackler is the associate residency program director. Dr. Shura Sheikh is the residency program director, and I believe he is here. He may not be standing up. And Deanna Brown is a social worker for Mercy Health. And then I'd like to introduce our elected officials for Rock County. So our first elected official is Judge Jeff Kruglich. He's our circuit court judge. We have Sheriff Troy Knudsen. District Attorney Dave O'Leary. Register of Deeds Sandy Disrud. And then we have our county board supervisors. So we have Lou Peer, Pam Bostwick, Wes Davis, he's the vice chair for the county board, Bill Wilson, Stephanie Agutter, Brian Knudsen, Dave Holman, Tom Bryan, Russ Podzoni, Kathy Schulz, Danette Renish, Mary Beaver, Bob Yeomans, and of course our chair who spoke first was Rich Bostwick. Aren't you glad all 29 did not come? Thank you so much for allowing me to introduce anyone. I don't know if I missed anyone. Like I said, masks hide people and they look differently. Well, I should really introduce our county administrator, Josh Smith, who likes to be in the background. So the next person to speak is going to be our chair of our Human Services Board, and that is Brian Knudsen.
Good afternoon. Joining me today are the Rock County Human Services Board members, and I'd ask that they please come forward. Supervisor Pam Bostwick, Supervisor Stephanie Agutter, Supervisor Russ Podzoni, and Supervisor Kathy Schultz, as well as our Vice Chair, Sally Jean Weaver-Landers. The Human Services Board provides state and federally mandated services to the county's most vulnerable and needy residents. The Human Services Board helps determine programs which serve abused and neglected children, adults and children with mental illness, children with physical, emotional, and developmentally disabled, juvenile offenders, adults and youth with alcohol and other drug problems, children, youth, and adults in need of residential and institutional care, as well as the elderly and disabled through the Aging and Disability Resource Center of Rock County. The Human Services Board serves as a link between the community and local government. The board helps determine administrative and program policies which benefit Rock County residents. We are committed to the priorities and needs of Rock County's most vulnerable citizens. We look forward to the future of this great building and all the wonderful services that will be provided. Thank you all for coming today, and we hope that you enjoy your afternoon with us. Thank you.
Excuse me. Good afternoon. I'm Kate Lester, Rock County's Human Services Director. And it's a privilege to be here with you today to celebrate this new building and this new opportunity to engage with those who will use this space and all of you. I see this building as an amazing accomplishment whose beauty and light will honor the dignity of all who receive services here and all who work here. This is a new home for many programs that provide essential services to our community. Here, we will deliver a full continuum of behavioral health services, providing crisis intervention, mental health treatment, substance use disorder services, and other psychosocial supports to help residents of Rock County move forward in their recovery. This space will be the home for child protective and youth justice services, who work to keep children safe and families connected and strong, and who build resilience among at-risk women and men in our community. Our children's long-term support services, who help families whose children have disabilities access supports they need to keep their children at home. The Aging and Disability Resource Center, Adult Protective Services, and the Council on Aging will provide essential information referrals for elderly and the disabled, protective services for the most vulnerable adults. They will ensure a variety of community-based supports are in place for older people in Rock County and those who care for them and about them. This is a new home to economic support services staff who determine eligibility and facilitate access to essential benefits like Medicaid, food share, and child care to assure that these fundamental needs are met for those who are eligible for them. We're joined in this new space by our job center partners, whose variety of programs strengthen our workforce, assist individuals in overcoming barriers to employment, support businesses to grow, and these partners share in our work of promoting independence and security in our community. Other partners, including Professional Services Group in CPS, Justice Point, AverHealth, who deliver services as they support court-related programs, will be joining us as well. And behind the scenes of those programs, but very, very important to making everything function, is our administrative services staff, whose work to support budget, data, accounting, records, support staff are critical to everything that we do. So these descriptions tell you about the programs that will operate within these walls, but what's more important is what will happen as a result. It was really affirming to hear earlier that from our architecture firm that they remembered that we said from the beginning, the vision of the Human Services Department has to be central to our thinking and our planning for this space. That vision is to build a welcoming system of care that inspires healing, growth, and hope. We bring that vision with us as we move into this new building. So here we will welcome those who feel unwelcome elsewhere. We'll be agents of healing of past harms and traumas. We'll promote growth because we believe change is always possible. And among those whose life experiences often leave them hopeless, we'll inspire hope in this new special space. So I say let's let this building be a symbol of a new opportunity for inclusion of and partnership with those who need the services that we'll provide here as we build a rock-solid community. And it's my privilege next to introduce Mr. Danny Evans, who's my colleague on the leadership team at the Human Services Department. He's a lifelong resident of Rock County. He's a pastor, a friend, and a mentor to many. It was Mr. Evans' suggestion to honor the legacy of Dr. Williams that brought us to this point of naming the building here in his honor. And so it's relevant and helpful that he'll provide this tribute now.
Can you see me over the podium? We have come to pay tribute to Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. When reading, researching, and remembering his legacy, there is an old black spiritual that comes to mind. The song was performed by the great gospel singer Mahalia Jackson, often sung during times of struggle during the civil rights movement. The song entitled, "If I Could Just Help Somebody, Then My Living Would Not Be in Vain." Dr. Daniel Hale Williams was born in 1858 to a free family in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. After the death of his father, they moved to Rockford, Illinois, eventually moving to Edgerton, Wisconsin, and then to Janesville, Wisconsin. If I could just help somebody, then my living would not be in vain. The words of this song exemplifies the life and legacy of Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. He was a humble servant. He served in the barbershop as a barber. He served in the bath parlor and bathing rooms, helping community leaders from Janesville. His service, he served as a mentee under Dr. Palmer, training for 2 years as an apprentice. He went on to attend Chicago Medical College, which was later affiliated with Northwestern University. He graduated with an MD in 1883. When the established hospitals of Chicago would not grant privileges to black surgeons, Dr. Williams continued to help others by opening a school, the Providence Hospital and Nursing Training School, in 1891. This was Chicago's first interracial school. If I could just help somebody, then my living would not be in vain. When a man's life was on the line, when a man needed help the most, it was Dr. Williams who stepped up. Yes, in 1893, James Cornish was admitted to the Providence Hospital for a stab wound to the heart. He bled all night and by the morning went into shock. Dr. Williams performed the first open heart surgery without x-ray, without help of any antibiotics. There was no procedure to follow. His willingness to go over and beyond, his willingness to think outside the box. He was willing to put the man's life before his own reputation. He saved the man's life. If I could just help somebody, then my living would not be in vain. Dr. Williams went on to serve as surgeon-in-chief at the Freedom's Hospital in Washington, D.C. Being appointed by President Grover Cleveland, he transformed Freedom's Hospital into a reputable hospital, improving its service to the community. If I can take briefly just a thought from Dr. Martin Luther King's famous speech, "I have a dream." I have a dream that one day every child who walks through those doors will receive services they need to help them thrive in the community they live in. I have a dream that every parent who enters this building will be treated with respect, kindness, regardless of the color of their skin, their religion, economic status, and I dare say who they love. I have a dream that one day every family who is struggling in Rock County and are in need of services, that they can walk through these doors and know that their needs will be met. I have a dream today. I have a dream that every Rock County employee, elected officials, every community leader will take up the mantle of Dr. Daniel Hale Williams and will serve with that same mindset of humility and the same desire just to help somebody. I have a dream that every employee who will walk through this building will serve our families with a trauma-informed care mindset, recognizing that not only have the children been traumatized, but the parents and the grandparents have been through trauma also. I have a dream that we won't re-traumatize them any longer. I have a dream that every child from the inner cities of the Merrill neighborhood in Beloit, Wisconsin, to the 4th Ward of Janesville, Wisconsin, whoever walks through that door, those children make it through that door, come in contact with this place for whatever reason, that one day they will rise to be the next leaders of Rock County, and will look back at this place and say, it was at the Daniel Hale Williams building where I met a worker that changed my life. I have a dream. I have a dream that every parent from Milton, Edgerton, Evansville, Orfordville, and any city in Rock County will one day look back and say it was at this building that they met a social worker that helped them with parenting skills so they wouldn't lose their children. I have a dream that it will be in this building that one day that family who struggled and needed food stamps can come and one day say, it was here I was given skills to search for a job. It was here that I attended a job fair and it changed the direction of my life. Today my wife and I come full circle. It was at the healthcare, the social services building where we walked in with our heads down needing food stamps. But today we walk out with our heads high because we played a small part in naming this building. I leave you with this and I encourage you to live your life to help someone other than yourself. And your living will not be in vain. Daniel Hale Williams was an example for all of us. He served his community, he served his patients, and his living was not in vain. Thank you. I would like to introduce a hero to our family, Dr. Leo Egbujiobi, interventional cardiologist for Beloit Hospital, medical background, residency, internal medicine, 1991, University of Wisconsin, Mount Sinai Medical Center, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, fellowship, American, 1994, University of Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia, Medical Center, Salem, Virginia American College of Cardiology, Society of Cardiac, I'm not even going to try that word, and I think I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Dr. Leo.
Thank you very much, Pastor. That was good. I think Dr. Williams is happy where he is now, and thank you, the Rock County Board of Directors, for doing this and for inviting me. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. A couple of housekeepings. There's some group from Beloit, the newly hired Vice President, Ms. Norma Anderson. Can you please stand up? Don Anderson, please. Ms. Norma just joined us 3 months ago, and she's here with the team of other people. Can I take this? I want to walk around. Is it okay?
You need both.
Oh, good. Really? Okay. So what do I do? Do like this? Oh, if I stand here, is it okay? If I just move around here?
How about I hold it for you?
Oh, no, don't do that. I can work. Too much work for you. And help me, please. So that's all about life. It's all about help. The second housekeeping is, I like what I see. People have the masks. Please get the vaccine. No stories. And those of you who gave me the chance to be a doctor know that's who I am. I don't mince words. I don't play games. I give it to you the way it is because that's what I tell my parents, and that's how my parents raised me. Say it right first time, you don't say it again. Get the vaccine. 9 out of 10 persons still dying or having hospitalization today are not vaccinated. there's no better treatment for this scrap we have than vaccination. Get the vaccine. So 2 weeks ago, I was told by my boss that this thing is happening. I said, oh my God, that's great. Janesville, doctors being recognized. Then I was told I was to talk. I said, okay. Then I forgot all about it. Then 2 days ago, I called my assistant, can you write something I can speak on? And last time I said, no, talk about yourself. That's where the problem started. It's difficult to talk about yourself, really. But on our way driving, I think, remembering a little bit about me, I remember one of the books, Vince Lombardi, I think you guys read the guy. In one of his books, he says that define life as simple. That the height we're going to go in our life has already been determined by destiny. Destiny determines the height. Getting to that height is determined by our ability in the environment. This is very important because most of the things you hear today have been about individual effort, but more about the environment. People helping you on, people helping you out. And it says that when you get there, staying there is also determined by your attitude and again, the environment. For you may have the best attitude, but the environment doesn't want you, you're out. You may have an okay attitude, but the environment is good, you succeed. So folks, it's all about destiny, hard work, environment. So the question we go to ask ourselves is, how far have we improved on the environment? For me, I tell my family and my wife every day that my concern is that I may not have given to this community equal to what I've received from them, because the community has treated me nice, and I hope that at the end of the day, when I drop the knives, that I've done a little to add to this community. So the struggle to add to the environment shall be our mantra. The second thing is, for me, I was 6 years old, and my dad is a lawyer, well, was a lawyer, and I was hanging around the last of 5 kids. So he goes to court, I follow him. The clients, I'm always sneaking around listening to him. I remember I said, Daddy, why did they lie? They want to lie. He said, son, lawyers who don't lie, we'll get the law, we'll bend it, we'll free our client to go. I said, that doesn't sound good. But this day we went to court, and I was sitting next to my dad, and some big old lawyer was there defending a case when opposing attorney to my father's position. And the guy suddenly collapsed and died. And I cried all through, and we were going home. I said, Daddy, what happened? He said, his heart quit. I said, what's that? Heart missed. I said, when I grow up, I'm going to find out why a little thing in the body can kill a big man. My dad reminded me that only 20 years ago. So I guess it begins with your dream of what you want to be. And then, got usual education, came to Boston at age 17. And it was rough. But you always be guided by your parents, by, who to call to the environment. At Boston University, I was, at the end of the first year, Dr. John T. Woodland called me to his office and said, you're the first black man. I said, who is in present list with 4.0? That's good. What do you want to do? So I want to be a doctor. I said, it can't be. I said, you, engineering. How engineering? I said, I don't want to. He said, I want architecture. I said, no, I got a scholarship to go to Germany, which is true, to study engineering. But the kid in high school that I beat every day was going to USA, was not studying medicine. So that's why I came to US to study medicine, because I won't let that guy be better than me. That's what I told the guy. He said, no, but you can't. You're foreign, you have an accent. I said, okay, sir. So I cried home. This guy was so nice. He gave me an envelope. It turns out to be mutual funds. I don't know what that means that time. 18-year-old kid. So keep it as your gift. It turns out it was Nicholas Fund. It was 100 shares. That was in 1979. Dr. John T. Woodland, 1979. And we cashed that check only a couple of years ago. It was a lot of money too. But if after giving me money and patronizing, he told me I wasn't going to be a doctor, So I called my big brother who was doing doing research in planning science in University of London, and I said, son, you know what, do whatever you can so that when you finish school you can be independent. So again, the role of environment and knowing who to fall back to and being, so I said, you know what, don't worry about it. If you don't go to medical school, do a course that allows you to be independent. I said, what do you mean? He said, whatever you think can make you independent, so you don't have to work for nobody. So that's how I said, okay, I'm going to go to pharmacy school then. So I left Boston University. I went to Mass College of Pharmacy because I was told I wanted to get to medical school. And then I finished pharmacy. Eli Lilly company called us. There were 3 of us they called in the whole United States for a scholarship thing. I went there. And they said, you know, you're good. We will give you a PhD, pay a PhD to University of, University of Indiana. When you finish, you work for us 5 years. All the research we keep. And I said, okay, so give me a contract for $10,000. It was 1983, for crying out loud. It was a lot of money then. And I came home, and I got a letter to medical school for crying out loud. So here we go. So we left pharmacy with the degree and went to medical school. We finished medical school and I want to do OB. Why OB? Because in OB gynae you can help somebody grow up, have a baby, do this. I tried it for 1 month in Boston, didn't like it, I don't know where. Because I don't like to see 11-year-olds being pregnant. And I was begging them to have abortion. This is a Catholic boy. And it conflicted why I would encourage abortion because my head said it wasn't right, but my heart didn't agree with the concept. So I abandoned OB from Boston University and came to my friend in Chicago who told me, hey, University of Wisconsin has an opening in internal medicine. Here you go. And the day I being a cardiologist. When I was 6 years old, I went to find a heart. My body was moving me around throughout the endurance, and I ended up being a cardiologist. Interview comes. Went to places, came to Beloit, and I was like, really? How did I remember Beloit? Excuse me, the cops. But I remember when I was driving to Monroe, to Moonlight, the cops stopped me in Beloit. It was a day after I paid my taxes for the first time. I paid a lot of money. The guy was like, what the heck are you doing here? And you're driving so fast. I said, so, you don't stop people like this on the street. Give me a ticket, get out of the way, you know what I mean? It was cool. So I remember Beloit. So I came to Beloit when I went back to the hospital. And my wife said, is that the same thing we saw when we went to Mayo Clinic? I said, yeah. But we're going to make this place look like Mayo Clinic. So I said, no. I said, you know what? See those small buildings, you saw the cat labs, you know? We're going to make this place look like, watch me. So we took a job. We have a better contract from somewhere else. Because I believe in hard work. I believe in giving back to the community. I believe that with hard work and people working together, we're going to get it done. I was lucky. Sometimes you better be lucky than good. We got the right people in Beloit, got the right atmosphere, got the right people in the county. And Beloit started being the first place we could do angioplasty without surgical backup. 500 cases, nothing happened. Coming to work. The first to put defibrillator. The first to do a lot of stuff. And here we go today, doing a good job. Imbalance. It's not what I did, it is what we do. It is not what opportune individuals do, because I think I'm opportune. It is our ability to help other people, because life that is not given to somebody else is a life that is wasted. The favor you did to your children doesn't matter. Everyone knows my kid's going to do well. Everyone knows that my kids should get education, should have a car. But it is the one I give to somebody else that has no image on it that makes a difference. I'm happy I hear the word hope and healing. Boy, we've come a long way. 27 years in Beloit. It was Beloit and the county that my daughter was playing basketball with a team from Janesville. It was a tough year for Beloit. My daughter was #1 in Beloit. That was another girl, #1 in the other team. They were playing for the state championship. I did everything I can to be there. Boy, I felt bad I did. But when it lost, they went to hug the players from Janesville. Their coach told them no. It happened in my eyes. Well, come on. So it's a place of healing. It's a place where we should begin to know that we're all human beings created equal by God. And let's not worry about what we're going to do for ourselves. Let's worry about what we do for somebody else. For a life that is not giving something to somebody is a life that was useless. Well, thank you very much for letting me come here. I appreciate you. God bless you.
So I have a few more people to thank. I want to, when you leave this room and you head out, there's a display case. That display case is located just outside this conference room, a little bit to the left. The artifacts in that display case are from the late 1800s and the early 1900s medical era. These artifacts are on loan from the Rock County Historical Society and the City of Janesville-Hedberg Public Library. The Rock County Historical Society and the City of Janesville Public Library staff contributed their time and expertise to the design, a well-appreciated collaborative effort. We want to thank the media coverage from JATV here today. The cookies and beverages that are here in the hall are supplied by Rock Haven Food Services and Aramark Food Services. And I would really appreciate all of the dedication planning team to stand. I'm going to read all of the names of people who put this event together today. Mary Bola, Kathy Bogoshitsky, Dorothy Hale, Haley Hoffman, Mark Stevens, Danny Evans, Ben Bobzine, Alex Milkey, Tanny Kellerman, Christina Washburn, Dave Frober, Brent Sutherland, and Randy Taronas. Thank you so much for pulling this all together. And Rich Bostwick will do the closing remarks.
Okay, thank you very much. This concludes the speaking portion of our program.